It's the moment that you've been waiting for. Week 7, the conclusion. It's finally over. Oh my God. Haha, no, just kidding. It is almost over, but we still got the conclusion to talk about. So, the conclusion. This is short and sweet, week 7. Short and sweet so you can work on your paper. There's a conclusion section needed for this. Why do we need a conclusion section? You'll find conclusion sections in papers. What are they for? They're basically used to wrap up your sections, your chapters, the paper itself, and we also need to conclude the Fellowship of the Ring. Now, why do we need a conclusion again? Well, it puts an end to your theoretical inquiry. It says, you know what, reader, it's done. I've answered my paper, or I've answered my section. As mentioned before, I hope to see in your aspects that you have a concluding sentence, or you conclude your aspect paragraph. You treat it like a mini thesis. I chatted about that. I hope you're paying attention. Anyways, so you've provided synthesis, the circle is closed, everything is great. And when it comes to your main paper's conclusion, the conclusion section of your paper, you have answered your literature search question, you have answered your research question, you have simply addressed the topic of information that you are writing about. When it comes to the literature search question, go ahead and answer those in your aspect. You can also answer it in your conclusion, but the conclusion is very short when it comes to word count for this paper. So go ahead and answer your literature search question in the concluding sentences of your aspect and in your main conclusion. God, this is like Inception with conclusions. I'm sorry. Let's try this again. When you have written your aspect section, conclude it. Answer your literature search question. When you get to the ending of your paper, the ending of your paper should have a header that says conclusion. And in your conclusion, you can talk about the answer to your literature search questions in order to answer your central research question. You answer your research question in your paper's main conclusion, and you end the topic. That's it. Ta-da! For writing a conclusion in a paper, do not present any new information. It's like, we're done, please, no more, no. Not that we're not interested. It's like, oh God, please stop writing. No, it's not like that. It's like, don't introduce anything else that you need to talk about, because then your paper will be like the Fellowship of the Rings, and you're not stopping in Rivendell. You're going on to Mordor and back, and oh God. But anyways, so as mentioned previously in the previous slide, when it comes to conclusion, answer your literature search question in your section, and in the end, in the actual conclusion of your paper, answer your research question. Cool, we've got that out of the way. Awesome. Now, habits also to answer your literature search question or your research question, you can answer them either implicitly or explicitly. My preference is for explicit answering of your research question or your literature search question, because sometimes when you implicitly yeah, so there is kind of an effect of, no, that would be explicit. Yeah. You know what, if you can just answer your literature search question or research question explicitly. To answer my literature search question, parasocial relationships have an effect on web store purchases, but friendliness, women, etc., blah, blah, blah. Cool. So you literally can just restate your literature search question and research question in these sections and answer it just like I did. Great. When you are concluding your research paper in the conclusion section, again, you can digest and synthesize the answers from your aspect 1 and aspect number 2 to formulate that beautiful answer to your research question. And as mentioned, your conclusion section, it's tiny. It's 150 words. That's not a lot. You have probably sent out texts longer than this. I have. Have I? Probably. Most likely, yeah, or an Instagram message. So, again, the conclusion, you synthesize the information from your sections to answer your research question. To go back all the way back to the earlier weeks when we talked about making cake, an answer to this, the example of a conclusion would be, it was found that bittersweet tastes are preferred, like chocolate. Moreover, when moisture consistencies are used, people enjoy the cake more. Therefore, to answer the research question, what type of cake would ICM students most enjoy? We can say chocolate cakes made out of yogurt would be most appreciated. This is a clean, explicit, clear way of answering your research question. Voila! If you need a bit more, okay, how would I potentially enter a research question, from the academic perspective? You can go ahead and type in or click on this link when you download the slides, the bit.ly/TCR conclusion, all lowercase, and you will find an example of a longer conclusion, but a conclusion nonetheless. My biggest academic writing tips for you when you are writing this. So the conclusion, easy peasy. We're moving on to academic writing tips to wrap up this beautiful course. Please, 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 when you're writing, use headers and subheaders. This really organizes your work and it gives your reader a visual break. It gives me a break. Of course I want to read all of your beautiful information, but when it's just like, the long copy paste, it's, Also too, when it comes to APA, you were demonstrating to me when you were using subheaders and headers that you are conscious of APA. And for the strategic learners, this will get you a better grade. Awesome. So let's say that we talked about all of this fun stuff and our aspect is about, defining brands and consumer choice. We would just have our first aspect is, it would probably be 2.1 here, defining brands and their influence on consumer choice. So this is a good way to introduce your first aspect is to have a bold header with numerics. If you need more information on this, just go ahead and Google APA structure and that will be there. The next one is, of course, avoid superfluous detail. Avoid useless information. This is for people that are, that are writing and they're kind of like, crap, I need to meet 1,300 word count and I'm at 800 words. I'm just going to write in a bunch of crap, or I'm going to make a sentence run on for 4 lines. I see you because I did the same thing and I got penalized for it by my teacher. So I'm just passing on the hubris and the pain. We know the tricks. We did it before. So make sure again to write concisely, just like we did in digital writing this week. Practice this. So start off with the main point. And one of the last ones is annotate your bibliography. This is a huge component of marks, and well, not huge, but it is a component of marks, and this is where students in the past have lost marks. I want to see your annotated bibliography. An annotated bibliography is like a bibliography, but cooler. No, it's not cooler. It's as mentioned, an annotated bibliography is when you provide around 40 words to just describe the source that you use. And the reason why is because it's nice to see if you have an understanding of what the source was about and why it may have been useful. Sometimes people get in the habit of just picking and choosing citations or literature that doesn't necessarily fit at all, or they don't comprehend or understand the citation at all. And that's when it clearly shows, and it really makes me, kind of question the validity of your work. So in order to get in that practice, this is one of the only times that you will ever be annotating your bibliography, and it's in this class. So here we have a beautiful example from a student from 2 years ago. Look at this. Nice citations. Oh, even taking care of the italics. Great. The hanging indentation. Amazing. Love hanging indentation. But hanging indentation only for bibliographies, and then the description. So the theory of bonding, also referred to is explained in this chapter. Also references to other psychoanalytical theories, attachment theory, are made to ensure deeper understanding. Cool. Okay, so this is what it was basically about, and this is why it was relevant for this student. Awesome. Cool. Now, just as kind of a bonus Jonas quiz, consider this literature review. We have a whole lot of talking. Let's just start from the middle. The hotel market can be divided on the following components: the reasons of stay, hotel catering market, sources of demand, and the needs of consumers, blah, 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 blah. According to the author of the book, Hospitality Marketing by David Bowie, It is essential that hospitality companies target several different segments simultaneously. Can you see where this can be made more concise? Probably, because that's what is underlined. Yeah, this is superfluous. This is redundant. Get out of here. Get out of here. Also, too, when it comes to APA, the first names of authors are never included. Don't use the first, just use the author's last name. It'll save you some word count. Also, too, titles of books. This is never included in APA. Please don't do that. Just don't. Sometimes they are. Sometimes you'll see them and be like, well, Rob, I said. Just no. So let's look at this and let's learn. Let's apply what we learned in digital writing. Dropping this work, and starting with, it is essential that hospitality companies target several segments simultaneously. Bowie, 2014. Amazing. And that's it. We are done. We're done. That's it. That's the course. Thank you for your attention. Yeah, it was really nice. Kicking some academic butt, and yeah, for those of you, you're not done yet. You still have to write your paper, but yeah, I'm really excited to read them, and I mean that honestly and sincerely. Yeah, I think other than that, yeah, we've talked about like annotated bibliography. We've talked about other tips pertaining to concision, but I think one of my biggest tips, my biggest academic tip is to seek out feedback when it's offered to you. That's honestly, I think the biggest key to success is to seek out feedback when it's available. So that means attending the office hour and asking questions there, or just subtly lurking and watching people receive feedback. So this is okay, and this is the thing. So I definitely want this course to be formative feedback oriented. What that means is that, just a reminder that your paper is due in a month. June 18th is the first deadline. The reset deadline is July 2nd. There's also the opportunity here for feedback. If you've submitted all the previous weeks of homework, then you get feedback for your draft. And this is a big thing. This is a big thing, right? Well, not a big thing. It's just a nice moment of feedback for you to have. But this also means that, if you, okay, to clarify, please submit your week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 components of homework by May 30th at midnight. If you don't do that, I will not be reading your draft. That's the parameter here. If you missed out on submitting your week 1, 2, and 3 homework by the deadline, you can still submit it before or on May 30th at midnight, but just note that you won't be receiving feedback for that. I will give you feedback though for week 5 and week 6, should you include it. And so another moment of feedback, and I think the biggest reason that I'm saying this and I'm offering this is oftentimes in the past, students have, in the 11th hour, June 16th, 2 days before the assignment is due, sometimes I'll get these huge emails in my inbox that are like, it's kind of this crisis point, this meltdown, being like, I don't understand where to go or what to do. And unfortunately, with those emails, I can't address them. I need to protect my own self and set boundaries, and know that for my best working style, I can't spend time providing feedback 2 days before an assignment is due when there have been multiple ample opportunities to receive feedback. So this is a boundary that I'm setting, and I'm quite firm with it. If you do, or if you are struggling with this topic, and you are a bit shy when it comes to attending the office hours, I would say attend them anyways. It's not nice to say, well, just attend it anyways. And if you need more time, then let's go ahead and book a further time slot. when you are there in the office hours. So I'm really trying to be mindful of the email fatigue that happens a lot lately, especially this pandemic, and how that I function a lot better in giving feedback and being, a mentor in this regard when it comes to the face-to-face or the Zoom Teams face-to-face. But for me, calling that's where I can work best. So not email. So this is it. The boundaries are clearly set. So yeah, that's it. But it's also too exciting because hopefully that inspires maybe one person just to kind of seek out the feedback that they might not thought of to do otherwise. But yeah, that's it. So as mentioned, the deadline is June 18th. Via Blackboard, and there's a little Word icon here because I would love it if you submitted it as a Word document. And the reason why is because I can use track changes to make comments, and yeah, when it's submitted as a PDF, I find making and putting comments on PDFs just very it's just not efficient, it's not functional, it's not nice, it's not a nice experience. And rarely in the work field will you submit a draft or a document as a PDF if it's not something that goes to a stakeholder. If it's internal, it most likely will be Word. So please use Word. Use Word. It's available to you through the HHS website. So that means please submit using Word. No pages, no PDF, no other things. No Photoshop documents, even though I'll be really impressed, but I digress. Okay, anyways, I'm rambling, and this is just like an in-class, this is exactly what I do at the last lecture in class. I ramble. Okay, talk to you guys later. See you later, maybe see you in an office hour, and yeah, good luck writing. You got this, and I'm really, really excited to see how your topics will transpire, how you will, provide that depth and breadth and just make really interesting points when it comes to your research and answering that research question. So good luck. We'll chat again soon, and have a nice day, evening, or morning. Chat later.